It's been about 6 months since I started my agency, since I went from delivering pizza to $20,000. And I just realized recently the other day that I am losing all motivation. And I actually just started recently to find it again. You know, once I started to make that money, once I started to make $10,000, I stopped reading. I started to hang out with my friends more, playing Smash. Like I was working, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't improving my character and myself. And ever since I was in high school, I've been really big on self-improvement. I mean, there was a period of my time or a period in my life where I was literally like had the whole morning routine. I was watching like Hamza and Hermosi, and I was reading self-help books. And the reasoning was I was just fucking like, I hated myself, but I also I really wanted to improve myself. It wasn't that I hated myself. It was more the fact that I wasn't satisfied with my life. And I always wanted to do better and I always wanted to improve. And that's really what got me to that $20,000. And I had like a moment of awakening actually when I went to film organic content last week with my business partner. And I realized that I was terrible on camera. And I instantly, my business partner is fucking amazing on camera. It's like, he's literally the most charismatic dude ever. And it's like, once the camera turns on, he's like, hey, using his hands, and he's like talking like crazy. Whereas I'm kind of more laid back and in general, kind of monotone. And so obviously when he was doing the content, it made me feel like, fuck, like I'm not going to be that good. And when I eventually got on camera, it took me 45 minutes to film one video. And it was just humiliating. So I felt like shit, right? Because here I am, he's recording the video. He's like giving me tips. He's like, no, you got to do it again. And it took 45 minutes. And I like mentioned doing the next video, and he was kind of just like joked about it. Like, I can't wait another 45 minutes. Basically joked about it. And like, obviously he was joking, but like it fucking offended the shit out of me. Cause that's just how I am. It's like, all right, I need to lock in. So we ended up leaving his office where we were filming at. And I went in the car and I instantly bought like a course for like $400 on like charisma and how to talk on camera. And while I was doing that, I felt like alive. Like I was learning and I was listening, and I felt like, you know, when you like read a new book or you figure out something new and it's like a paradigm shift. And I had like that epiphany and that paradigm shift that I haven't felt since last year, since I was listening to podcasts, delivering pizza, when I was like really super motivated. And I think that it really made me realize how much I had been slacking on my self-improvement. How much that $10,000, $20,000 actually made me complacent. And so what I'm doing now is every day I've been practicing on camera. I've been doing drills, rambling drills and such. And I know this is a super long intro. I don't even know how long that is, but I kind of wanted to tell my whole story on camera in a raw format. Just because I feel like I haven't on camera, and even if I have, it hasn't, like I haven't had the lighting and the setup and whatever. So I'm just going to tell my whole story and kind of how I went from like a kid making beats, like my dream was to make beats, to like making videos, $0, literally delivering pizzas, breaking even every month, to having to move back in with my parents, to then making literally $8,000 a month in the first month of my agency. And on top of that, a few months later, making $26,000 a month to where I am now, which is I have employees and I'm grossing a lot more than that. So I'm going to start from the very beginning, which is in high school. My dream was always to make beats. So I remember it was Christmas and I felt like drawn upon making beats before I even knew what it was. So I always played the piano. I come from a musical family. And I asked my mom to get me this keyboard to make beats with for literally no reason. I just remember being like, I want to make beats. It's like literally God came down and put that thought into my head. And this was before making beats was that accessible and possible. This was like 10 years ago, so people weren't making beats like that back then. And so I started making beats, and I ended up like stopped focusing on school, and I stopped focusing on pretty much sports and academic activities, any activities, and I was solely focused on making beats. And I became known as like the kid that makes beats in school. Actually, funny story, kids used to come like to my house after school and like record, and kids were always asking me, yo, can I come record this song? Can I come freestyle? Like, let's go to the stew. And it became like an activity, but I wasn't like actively trying. Like at the time, I thought I was trying by making like 2 beats a week or whatever. But it wasn't until later, till in college, like I think a girl broke up with me because I was a fucking loser. And I took beats very seriously, and I started posting on YouTube. And I was posting every day for a year, and I was slowly growing. I think I had a couple of videos with 1,000 views. And then probably a year after, I had like my first viral beat. And I don't know why I'm doing quotations. Like, it was really fucking viral. It actually was used by Kylie Jenner and Hailey Bieber, Ash Cash, like crazy celebrities. I basically posted it on TikTok, and they started using it as a sound and went viral. And from there, my channel took off. I was probably making like $5,000 a month in like beat sales, and I was working with labels and like underground artists and such. And so after Kylie Jenner used my beat, and this is going to get very personal here, because this is when my life changed. Right after Kylie Jenner used my beats, I was literally the man. I was him. Like, everyone was talking to me about it. Like, I'd go out to the bar and girls would come up to me. They'd be like, yo, like, this is so cool. Like, how do you do that? And like, my testosterone was probably at an all-time high. You know, all these girls coming up to me, all this success. And I basically ended up dating this girl that was way too hot for me and way too old for me. So I was 22, and it was actually like someone that I knew. And I met her at the bar, and like all my friends wanted her and whatever. And she knew that Kylie Jenner used my beat, and she like instantly was super attracted to me because of the status. And also I was making like $50K a year, but no one knew that. People thought I was making way more. And I ended up getting in a relationship with her. But throughout the relationship, I realized I wasn't making enough money to support somebody else. And I was thinking about long term, and I was like, this isn't a very good career long term. Like, it's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of grinding. There's a lot of fucking, like, there's a lot of Jewish people in there. Sorry if you're Jewish, but like, you don't want to be in an industry where all the CEOs are Jewish and stuff. So there's like they take all your money and shit. So basically, I lost all confidence randomly. It was like slowly I started to lose all confidence, because I'm like, okay, well, I had that smash hit with Kylie Jenner, and then I've seen the views go down with this really hot girl, and she's talking about how she needs a guy to make 100K. And I ended up telling her, like, I ended up coming to the conclusion that I couldn't make beats anymore. But I didn't know what to do. So what do you think that I thought when I didn't know what to do? What does everyone think? Every sheep, every, brokey thinks I'm going to go to college. And hold on, my camera battery's about to die. They think I'm going to go to college. So what did I do? I told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to become a computer scientist. Something that I never was good at ever was computers. But I saw that they make 150K a year, and I watched a video of a guy on YouTube that made tier lists, and he put the computer scientist at A tier. So I said, hey, baby, don't worry. Like, this whole beat thing, right, was really cool, but I need to take care of you. You want to have kids in 2 years? You're 27, I'm 22. Let me take care of this, right? And she ended up breaking up with me. And I didn't know why at the time, but obviously I've matured now. It's been like 4 years. And I realized that the reason she was attracted to me was because of my status and because I was making beats. And if I wasn't doing that, like I'm just a normal guy, like fucking some boring loser. And it absolutely destroyed me. Not because I was in love with her, like we were only dating for a few months, but because I was like, all right, now I feel completely inadequate. And she confirmed that I was inadequate by breaking up with me. So I ended up being in the most depressing state of my life. Like literally driving to the college to sign up for courses, contemplating crashing into a tree, as well as like going to therapy and I literally didn't know what to do. So I would just start journaling and like I went on a complete self-improvement thing and I was so like lost. It wasn't like depressed. It was more like I didn't know what to do at all. Like aimlessness. And I also didn't know who I was because I had spent the past 10 years making beats. And all of a sudden, I decided I didn't want to make beats anymore. And it was like, okay, well, that was my whole personality. I'd made that my personality. And so what ended up happening was I went on a hiatus for months. I went absolutely nuts. I was going on like walks every day just to like, because I needed to do something because I was just so like, I was like this. I don't know what the word is. I was like anxious every day, like trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So I tried a cybersecurity course. I tried to go to college, right? Like I signed up for classes, legit. Like I went to the school. It was the most depressing day ever. I drove to the school. It was like everything was gray and there was just a gray cloud over my head. Walking into that school, seeing the classes I had to take, they're like, oh, this is going to take 2 years. And I'm just looking at the sheet. I'm just like, this is the end. Like, this is what makes me boring and fit in with everyone else. Because I had strived on the fact that I was making beats and I was better than everyone else, right? Because obviously, let's not be blue pill here. Let's be red pill. Your status is very, very important as a man. And putting yourself in that lower tier from being in the higher tier status is just very depressing. You can never go back. Lo and behold, one day I get a call. It's a call from a kid that I was gonna shoot music videos with years before, because I was thinking, hey, I'm making beats. Like, what if I could make music videos as well? And whatever, whatever the fuck it was. I don't even remember. But he called me because I had let him borrow the camera. We filmed one music video together, and then I said, hey man, you could just borrow the camera. Like, I'm making beats. I'm going to New York. I don't need this shit. And he called me, and he was like, hey man, like, how can I pay you back for this camera? I'm like, what? He's like, dude, like, I've been like I've been going to the different restaurants. I'm like walking in places, and like I've been getting hella busy, making a lot of money, and I've been offered a few jobs. And I was like, and it was like a light bulb went off in my head because I heard the word job, and I was like figuring out what I was going to do with my life. And I was like, no fucking way you make money with this shit. And I was like, listen, you don't have to pay me anything. Just let me tag along and see what you're doing. And I eventually, after a few months, I completely dropped out. The second I heard that, I dropped out of the college instantly. And I just tagged along with him and like weaseled my way into it. And like eventually we started the company together. And it went pretty decently well. Like, he was really good at networking. I had kind of like a hip hop hypnosis brain where I wasn't able to act professional and able to communicate with clients. So I kind of helped on the back end because I was no good in the front end, bro. I was communicating with rappers. I was communicating with, like, the music space was so unprofessional that I didn't learn how to communicate properly. And like, so I was kind of learning that, but I was doing most of the back end stuff, and we were doing gigs, and we did like some gigs in Florida. We're doing real estate. We're doing weddings, literally anything under the sun. When you're a videographer, you know, like, people will hit you up to do film anything. So it's easy to like find work and make like a few $1,000s a month. But anyway, we do this for a few months, and the job that he was talking about before, he ended up getting an offer for them for $70,000 or whatever. He ended up getting an offer from them, and we decided it would be good for him to take the job for a few months, maybe a year, and so he can learn about the industry and also like, I don't know, maybe get some clients out of it, make some connections, basically some parasite shit. And which was a great idea, but after like a few months, my business partner, who would have predicted, working 40 hours a week, didn't have much time to spend on the business. And so I started to, and I kind of feel bad about this, but I kind of started to do stuff on my own and kind of hide it from him, because I just felt like I was putting in all the work and he was kind of working a job, which I kind of understand it and whatever. So while he was doing all that, I was kind of like taking complete control of the business, and I ended up stumbling upon ads, and like I was doing all this reworking of the business and SOPs and stuff, and I ended up running ads for us, and I got a client from it. And I felt like since I did all the work up to that point, this is like a year after he got the job, and I still talk to him to this day. He's still like one of like my best friends, and I really did get along with him. But when one person's working full time, you know, it's pretty impossible to find that equal. And once I landed a client from the ads, I just had to tell him like, hey man, I'm actually going to just break off the company. And he didn't take it very well, but like we kind of made up, and it's whatever. I forgot to leave out the most crucial part here. During this year, so what I'm talking about when I got that client, when I broke off with him, was in September. We decided in January of that year not to take any money out of the business. So I had to get a job delivering pizza. Talk about a change in status, right? I went from being the guy that was making the beats, Kylie Jenner used it, to driving my car around town with a fucking pizza thing. Like, you know, the Domino's light up block they put on top of their car? I had a bigger one, a more obnoxious one on my car. And I was driving it around town for months because we decided not to take any money out of the business. So I forgot to leave that out. I forgot to mention that. That's very important, because that was also part of the reason I broke off the partnership, was because I was putting in that sacrifice of like delivering pizza, so we had more money to spend on ads and all this. And so, I was delivering pizza literally in the car in my 2007 Honda Accord. I remember one day specifically, like my AC didn't work. I couldn't afford to replace my AC in the car in the middle of summer delivering, fucking hot as shit. I'm driving a fucking shit car with a giant, I basically it was like a dunce cap for my car. Like that's how embarrassing this shit was. And driving that around town, literally praying to God that I didn't deliver to anyone I knew, because that would be humiliating. And actually one time I did deliver to someone I knew. And the worst part is, so I was delivering in the town next to mine. So whenever I got a delivery in my town, because we would do like the surrounding area, I would look up the name on the receipt and see like who lived there and if I knew them. Because just so I knew to mentally prepare myself. And one time I actually delivered to someone I knew, and it was like so embarrassing. I show up to their house, it's the middle of the night, and he answers the door, and I had a hat on. And I like put the hat as low as I could, like hopefully he didn't notice me. And he's like, hey, he's like, is that Luke? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, what's up, man? And it was kind of awkward. And maybe that was just in my head because I was embarrassed. But I was definitely super embarrassed of that situation. And funny enough, once I started to make 10,000 a month, I actually saw this same kid again. He was like the grade older than me, so I didn't really know him, but like I played basketball with him, and I actually saw him again at a bar, and he still treated me like I was delivering. He was like asking me to play in like a basketball league next winter, and he's like, you don't work on weekends, right? And I was like, dude, I don't do that pizza shit anymore, man. Like, I was so happy to tell him that. And so, yeah, long story short, I was delivering pizza. And then the first month I left my partnership, I landed one client off an ad. And I cooked for him for free. And then he ended up referring me to a bunch more people. I started to make $8,500 a month. This was last year in October. It is now June of 2026. So that was October of 2025. I started to make 8.5K. And then January of this year, I made 26,000. And now I'm making more, but I hired some employees and I have a business partner now. So I'm making a little bit less, but I'm still taking home over 5 figures. And for my age, I'm completely like, it covers everything. I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to look at the gas price. I don't have to look at groceries. Any of that shit. So yeah, up until that point, I was definitely going through it, definitely grinding, definitely motivated. And then once I started to make $10,000 a month, I started slacking again. So this is my kind of way to motivate myself is I'm going to start posting on here more. I'm going to work on my communication, do some exercises, tell some stories, and it'll be interesting to look back at. So yeah, the point of this video was just to show you guys like, hey, I got complacent. Definitely don't get complacent. And just tell you my story, like how I made it that far. I'm sure this isn't the last time I'm going to tell that story. I think it's a great story. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on everything. But yeah.